Hey, I'm Andrew, and this is Odin, and we are sitting in Lady Leo. She is a Sprinter 170 wheelbase, 2500. This was a COVID project. We finished it in 2021. Once I got a work remote job and my wife was travel nursing, we decided we could hit the road. Been mulling over doing a van build like this for a couple years. Built it out in the dead of winter in Wisconsin. It took about 4 months, but everything was from scratch. So she used to be a well drilling van. It was dirty, it was raw, and it took a lot of maintenance work along the way to get it going. So right behind the driver's seat here, we have our sitting area. Honestly, we use it more than we would have expected, and he obviously uses it all the time, likes watching us when we're outside the van. And it actually is really convenient to have the fridge here too for easy access when you're in and out. When you're in the van, you actually spend a lot less time in the van than you would expect. So here we have a pull-out fridge. It has 2 stages, which is really nice for, keeping lettuce and stuff in one, and then other things really nice and cold. Additional storage in back, so the sliding is really nice for that. Then of course some RV locks on it for when we're moving. Next to it we have the diesel heater. The diesel actually runs behind the driver's seat, so it's pretty easy to fill up. Both of these are actually kind of the cheap Chinese version of the brands, and I have no regrets. Honestly, they were about 20% of the cost, and I haven't had any issues, haven't had to replace anything yet. So I actually would recommend it. They're definitely not polished. You kind of get what you pay for, but it's functional, and we were on a budget, so it works. Here is also drop storage, so this is where I keep a lot of my tools, the simple things that you need for breakdowns, like, the electrical snips and all that kind of stuff. Control panel here, which is kind of convenient for seeing the voltage too, and then the blowout here. Above here, we have more storage. We were building this expecting to be, we'll call it extended stay. So we have overhead storage here. We also have much more back there. Squeezed in within a millimeter, this very simple microwave, which actually we wanted extremely simple. We didn't need any more buttons, but we actually use it a lot. When you're on the road and you have the leftovers, it's actually kind of nice to just throw something in there rather than go through the whole wipe everything off the counters and we're going to cook for the next hour. So we actually really use it quite a bit, and I would do it again. So right behind Odin here, we do have sliding windows. We actually put in 4 windows in the van. All of them are sliding. He loves sticking his head out of it. We don't have AC or anything, so it's really good for ventilation with the fan.
I'm Nate Murphy, and I have literally just bought this van to show you how to build a van. We have made a really detailed course which will help you go from this to this. You will learn everything you need. We help you specify your electrical system, and you'll be able to access the community all building their own vans at the same time.
So right behind the seating area, we have the wet bath, and this is the Nautilus shower bar. Love this thing. Was a bit of a splurge, but would do it again because of how efficient it is, and it just stays really clean and dry. We took a lot of inspiration from YouTube videos on this one. Heard a lot of varied reviews on wet baths, whether people thought they were worth the space or not. Ultimately, what it came down to is my wife wanted it, so we did it. I would do it again, even though we don't use the shower that much because it does use a lot of water. We have a 30-gallon water tank. I would say we assume that you're going to go through 5 gallons just in one shower, and that's even with bird bathing it. But it's still really nice to have the privacy if you ever need that. Rinsing off your feet, being able to close the door and just do a spray off. Rarely do we use it for a full shower, but it's actually really nice to have just a dedicated space. So we did it with FRP board here. We were very careful about sealing everything up, went by the book, and made sure that there was 0 gaps and caulked everything up. We have not had any issues with it so far. Yeah, the FRP was, when it comes down to it, cheap. It is hot and cold water, so it runs off of the electrical water heater, same as the sink. So it's nice if we know we're gonna shower, we'll turn on the water heater, but it's a pretty big energy consumption, so we don't always leave it on. Down here we have an airhead composting toilet. Frankly, we try avoiding using the solids when we can because you never really want to let it sit for months to properly compost. But it's really nice for emergencies, and the liquids container is peak. The nature head versus the air head, a lot of what we saw is the management around the liquids container was the game changer, and I would agree with that. So I would go air head again, and then we just have a negative pressure fan that vents out the bottom so that you're always pulling suction, controls the smell very well. Right when you walk in the van, we put the light switches here. You don't want to be fumbling around with it at night. So we do have 2-stage dimming lights. Really nice for, if someone's in back reading, you're kind of up here trying to get some shut-eye, which we did do with working different shifts. The dual stage lights came in more handy than we thought it would. Then we have here really big counter space. It takes up a lot of the van. Again, I would do it again. I love cooking, so having the space to cook and the 2 burners, which is a contentious topic, was really nice for me because I spend a lot of time cooking. You have this pop-up desk here, so you have extra cutting board space. This cutting board comes out, set it over there, so you almost have a full kitchen. And with the fridge and the microwave right behind you, it actually has a really good flow. So we have overhead lights for cooking at night. And this is actually a live acacia wood edge that we got from Home Depot. Not nearly as expensive as you would think, and we love the look of it. It is some upkeep. You always need to oil it and things like that. When water drips on it, sun gets on it. So it's a little upkeep, but we think adding the live look to it really helps a lot. The sink here has hot and cold water as well, which is really nice too for doubling as a shower. So say you're coming back from the beach, this will actually flip 180 and you can kind of just do a standing little bird bath with hot water, which is really nice. Though on the other side, we do actually have a hose connection that you can screw on and, wash the dog or whatever you got to do. So this goes to a 5-gallon gray water tank, which can close off. So if you're not in a place where you're feeling okay draining, you can, drain it later. So that's really nice factor. Same with the shower. From there, we have the 2-stage burners. So I keep propane under the stove for that. It's very efficient. I don't think I've had to swap the propane in the last year. And again, it's really nice having all this counter space with the drawers and everything here. With the kitchen, we have this outlet here. Not only do I work from it, but we have, teapots, things like that. Some pretty high draw electric equipment that we use for the kitchen as well. So under the kitchen cabinet, we have the storage. So plates, things like that. When we're spending a lot of time here, this is where all the pantry goods go. Right now we have a shelf dedicated to mugs because we can. We're coffee junkies. We also have 4 different drawers here, all soft closing. So all of the utensils, again, cook a lot, so you need to have good knives, things like that. No matter where you are, you need a junk drawer, so we have that. Had some leftover acacia wood from the countertop, so kind of last minute threw in a spice rack, and we actually love it. I feel like it adds a nice divider between the bed area and the kitchen area. And I don't know, we have the spare wood, so why not? The back is actually full tile. It's limestone tile. I was really worried that it was going to stay mounted while we were bumping down the road, but have not had an issue. Again, knock on wood. And again, love the look. It kind of adds a polish to it and a little elegance that, it's a van, so you got to splurge on a few spots. So now in the bed area, we have a queen short. It's a memory foam mattress. Again, got it really, really comfortable. And would definitely do queen again. Again, it's me, my wife, and a dog, so it gets pretty crowded pretty quick. The queen is necessary. And we have cabinets below the bed, so even though you get the extra storage from, the drop storage from socks, things like that, you still can kind of lay over that without bumping your shoulder into the hard edges. So it almost feels like a king sometimes because you have that extra space. I will say with the overhead cabinets, if you're sleeping this way, they're there. I will say that we did very careful measuring on this because we needed every inch of storage we could get. So it was a lot of, having my wife lay down, sit up, and being like, what inch clearance do we need to not hit your head? You can see that we had a different 1-inch difference that we decided between the kitchen and the bedroom. So again, I wouldn't change much because there's so much storage in here that we feel like we really needed, and you get used to it. Here we have, again, our VWD windows that slide open. Really nice for getting the fresh airflow. Dog loves them. One thing that I added that I didn't see in a lot of builds that I would absolutely recommend is a hamper. So under here, under the bed, I have a laundry basket, just a laundry bag that's pinned up. And there's just a little laundry chute stuff sack here. You never really think about dirty clothes when you're doing your build, but it builds up quick. So that is one of my favorite things that we added. Up above here we have a max air fan. Love the max air fan, would do it again. It has 10 different settings. You can set it to temperature. We don't have issues with airflow or getting too stuffy with the windows we added plus the fan. So love that factor. Here we have the garage. It is a garage by all definitions. You can see it's meant for utility, not polish. We really, when we were spent a lot of time in it, we had just large totes of, various storage things, camping gear, backpacking stuff. But we really just wanted it very simple, very open, so that you can kind of swap things for what you need. Throw surfboards back there, things like that. You can see the water heater, the water tank, and then our lithium-ion batteries and the inverter. But one thing that I really like that I did want to show is kind of a hack job. We have a sliding out bed so that, if you're spending a night in the woods and you want to enjoy the stars, you can kind of just pull this out and enjoy the night. And it was not even a planned part of the build, just kind of a lucky happenstance that I never really bothered to fix. So thank you guys for checking out the van. Appreciate the interest. If you're ever interested in renting it or checking it out, see the link in the bio and hit us up. We're based out of San Diego, so we hope to see you on the road sometime.
Are you thinking of building your own van, but you're worried about how complicated the process is? The bad news is, it is quite complicated. The good news is, we have made a super detailed online course to help you go from this to this. You will learn how to do insulation, carpentry, solar systems, everything you need. We help you specify your electrical system and you'll be able to access a community all building their own vans at the same time. It's never been easier to learn how to build your own van.